you and I met an awful long time ago when you were a flight instructor in Who Cares, California. And we had an opportunity to chat a little bit, and threw you a couple of assignments for the Air Progress group I was working for at the time, and from then on you ran like hell. You just did a phenomenal job and have become one of the more notable women writing about aviation from that standpoint for decades now. How the hell did you do it, kid?
Well, it didn't hurt to be discovered. Thank you. Persistence. Absolutely persistence. You have to have a very thick skin if you're going to be a journalist. You know that. And I think I developed one of those. I learned a lot about flying. You caught me at a time when I was absolutely nascent flight instructor. And the two came together, and there was a moment at a Future Aviation Professionals of America convention when I was covering it for you, but also slipping my resume to all of the exhibitors. And I had the fortune of going to the media party afterwards, and I met a woman named Patricia Lupke, who at the time was the advertising director of Flying Magazine. That's pretty much where things took off for me. I was able to slide into an associate's editor position in New York City at Flying Magazine and really learn the in-house side, because the freelance side of it that you and I did was only one aspect of journalism, and I needed to understand how magazines were put together. And that's what I was looking for. And whether I got it as a right seater on a Bonnerani or whether I ended up in an editor's chair, at that moment it was hard to tell which way things were going to go. And that editor's chair suits me. Yeah, I'm very happy with it. And I have to say I have flown many more interesting airplanes in the years since, and I'm very happy with the choice.
Cirrus Design's Vision SJ50 single-engine personal jet offers exceptional fuel efficiency, flexible seating for up to 7, advanced avionics, and all the Cirrus safety features you expect, including the Cirrus airframe parachute system. With its detailed design, the Cirrus Vision is technologically advanced, yet engineered to be simple to fly, to allow owner pilots more lifestyle pursuits than any other personal aircraft. Learn more about the Vision SJ50 at cirrusdesign.com.
As a woman writing about aviation and looking at the aviation industry and over the time that's passed, have there been changes? What do you see?
There have been radical changes. When I was a flight instructor and before I was writing in aviation, people were often surprised to see me as a flight instructor. They were particularly surprised to see me as a charter pilot, as the charter pilot. It wasn't uncommon for them to look past me to see where the pilot was. Oops. That doesn't happen anymore. No. Does not happen anymore. It's exciting for me to get on an airplane and see again and again that part of the flight crew as well as the cabin crew are women. So I find that that's a team, and I want to see women participating in all of that team. I had a great story a year ago in the magazine about the women who get the airplane ready to go. It was all about the ramp rats. And I had a blast. And you know who wrote that story? A woman airline pilot. So my job, as I see it, is to get those stories and show all the different places where women are contributing in this industry.
Well, one of the things you've done so well has been able to capture the spirit of aviation, and the interviews that you've done, the people you've talked to, it's obvious that you've made a connection. You've been able to take that connection and qualify it, quantify it, and write it in a way that people can look at that and kind of go, yeah, I know this person now.
That's exactly right. I want them to know this person, but not only that, I want them to know themselves. I want them to understand their own passion, because this is all about passion, this industry. There are very few people who stay here for a long time who don't want to be here. I know people who've been laid off 3 and 4 times in a 4-decade career, and you don't come back unless you want to be here. Now, all that being said, if you're creative, you can make a career in aviation and find a niche, and you can be very, very successful.
From the mountains to the prairies, to the landings that we love. Garmin SVT, synthetic vision technology.
One of the wonderful things about aviation journalism is it's basically whatever your heart desires, because if you're a true aviation geek, whatever you're interested in is literally what your readership is going to want to see, read, or hear about.
What you need to do is tell the truth. If you tell the truth every time, people believe you, and they read you, and they come to rely on you. And, okay, some people don't like what you write, but it's the truth. They have to acknowledge it. And that's what I've tried to do. One of the things I specialize in are the people in aviation, and that's how I finally came to the position of editor-in-chief at Aviation for Women magazine, which really is all about the people involved in aviation.
We've had a couple of comments about, well, I mean, let's face it, in some ways it is more difficult for a woman to maintain a career in aviation, especially when there's a family involved, because there are times when you're raising a family when it's going to be very difficult to fly and that there are competing interests. How do you balance it?
It's not easy, and the answer is differently for every single person. We had a wonderful story, in fact, in this magazine by Jenny Beatty called Changing Diapers, Changing Directions. And she interviewed 7 different pilots who were moms, and they had 7 different answers. It's going to be different for every individual and every situation. I can't answer the question, but I can tell you that those are the kinds of conundrums that Women in Aviation International helps people get to some kind of understanding by the magazine, by the educational seminars we have here, but more than anything else, by coming together and networking with each other, sitting in the same room and talking. Right now, my advice is you can do anything you want to do. Don't think it's going to be easy. Put your mind to it and put your nose to the grindstone and work. And it will take work, and you will get what you want out of life. P.S. Don't be afraid to open the doors, stick your head in, look around. Might be different than what you thought it was going to be. But if you do that, you will come to the place where your passion is. And when you do, go for it.